Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta.
It's a pretty cool thing we do there, huh? Open the beer.
Yeah. It's like catching on. I think there's other people that are picking up on that.
I think
Every time I open a beer, I think of our open.
You immediately start talking about Georgia State as soon as you open a beer, middle of a different conversation, and you're like, "Oh, did you see what the spread was in the game next week?"
I'm all like, "Hey, y'all."
Hey, there you go. And then you just finish.
Digga, bum, bum. No.
Did you guys notice I almost did the same thing this week that I did last week? I
Which was
started
not go live.
started the show.
I started the intro before going live. Yeah. So I caught that. Happy belated Father's Day, Ryan.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
congrats.
Happy belated Father's Day, David.
Yeah,
Congrats to you both. Good jobs.
Happy soon Father's Day, Tim.
Yeah, Tim, it's around the corner, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a joke in there, but it's for last call.
You're somebody's daddy.
I said it's for last call.
As I said on Panther Talk, my post on Panther Talk was thanks to all the amazing dads out there, and to those of you who are not amazing, keep it up. You're making it way easier for the rest of us.
Did it start an argument?
Low.
No, I got to Ben Moore like. I think Ben Moore, he'll tell you that he does not pay attention to likes on Panther Talk, but then he goes ahead and likes like every post on there.
He's one of those serial likers on Facebook, like just like every post.
If I thought that he had the programming acumen, I would think he had a little bot that just goes and likes every post on everything except for Gridpan. None of the Gridpan posts. So.
Well, you must work for Georgia State Athletics then.
Exactly. All right, guys. What do you guys want to talk about? There's been a few things kind of going on. Nothing super big. I guess there was some big news today for the Sun Belt conference or UCF. What are those guys? The Knights. They're joining the Sun Belt as
they decided to move down. Yeah, they decided to move back down from
in the European football. Ryan, yes, and the foosball.
I saw you guys like talking about that a bunch, and I was just sort of like, who gives a shit if it's not football?
Well, finally, there is a member school in the Sun Belt Conference where I would actually go visit the town. And by the town, I mean like the amusement parks.
You're going to travel for soccer?
Well, now I have an excuse when...
Dude, you don't even go to the soccer games right up the street.
I know, but now when my wife's like, let's go to Disney, I'd be like, let me check the calendar real quick. Yes, we can go this weekend.
We can go tailgate.
You're not going to do that.
I'm going to do that. She'll never sign off on it. Anytime I've tried to go to Boone for an App State basketball game. Well, sorry. For whatever reason, the games at Appalachian State tend to be right around her birthday, which is like that MLK weekend in January. It's just more often than not, that's when we're playing App State. And so I'm like, hey, do you want to go to go skiing for some artificial snow skiing for your birthday? And she's like, really? Why? I'm like, because on that Saturday night, I'm going to go to a Georgia State basketball game. She's like, no, we're not traveling for my birthday for a Georgia State basketball game.
Well, no, it's for skiing for her.
Yeah. Yes. It's just I'm going to spend from our Friday night to Sunday morning that we're there. I'm going to spend 3 hours at a basketball game.
That's not that bad.
Well,
it's pretty short.
You had that conversation with her. No, I think it's pretty cool to get UCF in. I think it's pretty cool getting UCF in as a soccer member. Our soccer conference is actually, if you look at just the member list, is looks a lot better than our full-fledged member list.
I don't know anything about like what a good soccer team is, so I don't know if it looks better or not.
Oh, I'm not talking about the quality of teams. Although Marshall did win the national championship last year or 2 years ago, they won't shut up. They won't shut up about it. So
I wouldn't either. We wouldn't either. Like just to be super fair, we would still be thumping our chests over that too.
I like to think that I'm a very modest fan, and I put success in the background. Once we've achieved it, I put it in the background. I mean, I joke, but also I was the first person to say we need to get over the UT, the Tennessee win. Like, stop bumping our chest about that.
Yeah, but you also said that we should charge $34.70 or whatever for a Georgia Southern ticket.
$34.07. You're upcharging by 63 cents, Ryan.
Sorry, my bad.
And giving them 70 points.
No. Can't do that. I am petty as can be. Yeah, and if we have Tennessee play at home, let's charge 38.30 for that game too. Like I'm okay with that.
But let's forget about it.
Well, no, I'm just there. Do we really need to have that listed on our the big wall behind the video board at the stadium, like as a constant reminder of that game?
I mean, until we have something else to replace it with.
Until this year, right?
30 years from now, we're still gonna have that Tennessee game.
No, come on.
Wow, this year, man, we're gonna replace it, right?
We've had
two chances.
So
Yeah,
would USC would USC or UNC win be a bigger win than beating Tennessee? Would either one? Would both of them? Which one would be the bigger win out of the three?
USC definitely not. UNC maybe.
I would
But
give
probably
UNC.
not.
I mean,
Probably
Tennessee
not.
wasn't very good that year anyway.
But
Right?
who cares?
They went to a bowl game that year, and I think they won their bowl game if I'm not mistaken.
See, they turned their season around a little bit later, and they did quite well. USC has never been very respected at all. UNC has, and that's why it matters more. And I would happily have stupid powder blue on the left and stupid puke orange on the right.
It would be a really we talk
Wait,
about,
we're doubling down. We're gonna have two of them.
we keep on talking about how we need to finish the renovations of Center Park Stadium, and instead we're like, no, let's make it uglier with powder blue, Tar Heel blue, and whatever that. Like, I don't know.
Orange.
It's not even inmate orange or like side of the road pickup trash orange.
Is
It
my
really
mic off?
is. It's a puke orange.
Puke
yes.
orange. It's clear. Like it's.
It's not.
People agree.
That's some
But-
weird throw up you got, David.
That's the color. If
My-
there was orange puke, it would be that color.
I don't know what PBR or box wine or gin puke looks like. But
God,
I do
I'm
not
a
have.
classy dude.
I don't have orange puke. It's a very neon yellow.
All that Mountain Dew. What?
What
Mellow
Oh,
yellow.
are you eating and drinking?
If I'm puking, I don't know what went inside of me to make that happen. So,
All right.
Okay.
Michael says that where else? I lost my mouse here. Michael says that South Carolina has been hyped for the top 25 next year, though. Really, have they? I mean, I believe it.
They've been hyped for a bigger season. Yeah, absolutely.
Is there like just a minimum number of SEC teams you've got to put in the top 25 every single season, like as a preseason poll, or is it like how Spurrier would always rank Duke, the 25th team, in his coach's poll until they lost a game because that's where he came from or where he got started? So I don't know, Coach Elliott's ranking South Carolina in top 25, even though he never won a game there.
He's about to.
He's his first win in Columbia, right? Did he actually go over in South Carolina? I know he lost.
I thought they won at least a game.
I know they lost. I know they lost to Citadel. I think that was his first game. That was Spurrier ducked out because he didn't want to have his record ending with being a losing record in his last season. And Coach Elliott came in. I want to say that very first game was Citadel, and they lost to Citadel. Which that would be like Georgia losing to Mercer or something, right?
Or Tech losing to Citadel. They did that too, right?
Did David freeze? Is he gone?
Shit. Again.
Did we have to carry this whole thing? Look at his look. It's hilarious. Oh, now he's upset about it. We just glitched into whatever this is.
Well, I don't know what happened, but I could hear you guys the entire time. I couldn't see
That's
anything.
great. That's great. You just stopped with like your
We couldn't hear
wide eye.
you.
Coach Elliott's hacking into our system here to keep us from talking about his days in Columbia. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, what were we talking? We're talking about UCF. I guess that's cool. It's fun. It was a big thing on Twitter. Twitter was a fire today talking about it.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
All right.
I set up a little Sunbelt search that just like follows anything that has Sunbelt and then like football, baseball, soccer, volleyball, blah, 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 all this stuff in there. And I was scrolling through it, and just a lot of people talking about how excited they were or how big of a win it was for the conference. So
It is an impressive name brand list of soccer schools. I'll give it that much.
what was it? Because there's Kentucky, South Carolina, UCF, and there's another like P5 or big program or something like that in there too, right? West Virginia.
Yeah, it's West Virginia.
Are they P5 in soccer? I mean, this is my question, right? Are they shit
If
in
you're a
soccer?
P5 school, you're a P5 school.
I know, but all right. Okay. All right. Deal.
Yeah.
I agree. I just think I probably don't care.
We get it. You don't care.
I know, but you guys, I get it. You guys do.
We care.
So
No, I think it's worth talking about. I think it's interesting.
yeah, it is. Can I talk about something that is less interesting to y'all?
Sure.
Recruiting.
Yeah, who you got?
We
What's
got our
going on?
highest rated high school recruit of all time, just behind Clay Chastain. So I don't know if that's exciting or not. But it's quarterback too.
I like how you like hype it up as the highest rated recruit from high school of all time behind someone else.
Well, no, behind Clay Chastain, who was not a high school recruit. He's only behind Clay Chastain, who was a college transfer.
Yeah, Braylon Ragland coming
All right,
out.
you had it on the list. Did you have recruiting on the list?
Braylon Ragland, quarterback out of Bartlett High School, where my grandparents went to high school in Memphis,
in Tennessee, right?
In Bartlett. Bartlett. It's effectively like a Roswell to Atlanta. Just a neighboring city and everything. My nephews live there. My nephews will go to Bartlett High School. I was talking to
Memphis to Memphis, you mean?
Yeah, Bartlett to Memphis is like Roswell to Atlanta.
I don't think you ever said Memphis. That's all, and I wasn't clear.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just outside of it.
Have we started a new pipeline, David? Instead of South Carolina, now it's Tennessee.
My brother-in-law went to a couple of Bartlett games because my nephews are slated to go to high school there, and he's a big sports fan. He said the kid looks good, good awareness. I mean, not like I'm doing a big recruiting thing on this, but he said the guy looks like he knows what he's doing behind center. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And Bartlett are the Panthers. They are the Bartlett Panthers. So he is
destiny.
He is
right at home.
He is a Panther.
He had at least one P5 offer, it looked like. Although I'm always suspicious of that, whether it's a committable offer or not, which is apparently a thing. It's really annoying. They'll say like, "Oh, you have an offer," but it's not a committable offer, and I'm like, "Well, that's not really an offer then, right?"
Right. I think someone asked on Panther Talk whether that was a legit offer or was like a preferred walk-on type offer.
Yeah,
and it was Auburn. Yeah. I think it was Auburn was the school that
right
in question there. Yeah. So funny thing as I went, I thought it was Bartlett Panther, so I went to go confirm that by looking at their athletic site. Their athletic site is their merchandise site is akin to ours. I guarantee you that Bartlett High School probably sells more in merchandise than Georgia State University does.
I got an email from whoever we do our merchandising through, State of Atlanta, offering me State of Atlanta merchandise today.
Oh, really?
They just sent me like, you might be interested in this State of Atlanta stuff.
That was nice of them.
I didn't open it.
It's spam.
It could have been spam or a scam.
I did not send anything out. That was not coming from me.
I knew that. I knew that already.
Like, that sounds like effort. David's not going to put any effort into this.
Definitely not you, David.
That's why he uses a print-on-demand service instead of doing it himself. Yeah. No, I just go to their site and going back to Memphis all the time. When I do, I see a lot of people wearing Bartlett stuff. So I probably see more Bartlett stuff in Memphis than I see Georgia State stuff in Atlanta. Not counting going to games and everything.
Well, Atlanta's a big place, and Memphis is a shithole.
Yeah, but it's a very focused shithole. Like all the shitholes in one little spot. Whereas Atlanta is very spread out.
Well, Memphis is very condensed shithole, but then outside of that shithole, there's not anything.
And we are Georgia State. We're encompassing the entire state, not just this little small part of the shithole of Memphis.
That's true. We're a big shithole. Memphis is a tiny, tight shithole.
So
a loose gaping shithole.
here is the illustration of what's wrong with Georgia State is. Today I went out and I was at a Kia dealership to get some warranty work done on my car.
You deserve it. You need that. You really need that work done.
I do.
I've been in your car.
So the steering column is fixed. All right, I'm good to go.
You can make more than left turns now.
Look, man. Look, my car is fixed. All right, but I went up there to pay for. I got my brakes done too, so I went up there to pay for it, and I'm wearing this my Georgia State polo. And the guy was like, "So, do you work at Georgia State or something?" It's always. And I'm like, "No, I don't work at Georgia State. I'm a fan."
You can't just be a fan. You can't just be a fan of Georgia State. You have to be affiliated. Yeah.
We're all employees.
Right? I know. I get asked You
We're
know,
shareholders.
you guys know when you're wearing Georgia State gear out and about, like you get asked if you're an employee like all the time. It's so stupid.
Or a coach. I mean, I'm
Or a
like,
coach.
they
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at me.
yeah,
and I'm-
definitely.
Yeah.
I'm in the strength and conditioning coach. Yeah, that's.
I coach drinking beers and eating good food before the game.
Yeah, I do those 12-ounce curls. I'm really good at that. They get lighter the more you do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's also another recruit to talk about, and this really didn't really get a lot of talk at all. I don't know if it's talked about at all on Panther Talk. It's not a commit though. It's a an official visit coming in. Trenton Flowers, basketball,
Oh yeah.
5-star.
Yep.
We have a 5-star doing an official visit at Georgia State, and apparently, well, this is going to sound stupid. He's Coach Hayes' number 1 target. I'm like, yeah, well, you're not going to make a 5-star. You're number 3 target. That's ridiculous.
But the key there, my number 1 target is also a 5-star and coming to have
actually,
an official visit.
I mean, I have not followed. I have not followed Georgia State athletics closely enough for nearly long enough to know if we've ever had a 5-star recruit come to an official visit. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we might need some help from Ben on that. He would know.
I think it's really easy. We can go ahead and say no. I think it's really easy. I'm willing.
Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. But it's. I mean,
we might have
you're
asked,
absolutely right, man. The recruiting that's going on under Coach Hayes is it's markedly better. Like you can see it already how much better it is, and I would have never thought it possible. Seriously.
Yeah, well, he talked about the whole he doesn't believe in fences. He believes in arms. Wrapping his arms around the city. Exactly. So yeah,
I want to hug him. Can I hug Coach Hayes? Can you let me hug?
Sure
him?
can.
I would ask him for consent first.
Oh, of course. Come on, what do you think I am? Some kind of monster?
I just envision Ryan making it to the new convocation center, and Coach Hayes is doing a little something for the Packer or something like that, and Ryan just walks up and just embraces him,
and he's like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "You said."
Maybe that should be our new shirt. Is no, they try to do like the Run SBC shirt, like the Run DMC stuff, the Run SBC.
Yeah,
we should do Hug ATL. Hug
well,
ATL.
What if, like an animated version of Coach Hayes with his arms like outstretched, just like hugging Atlanta, with ATL in between. That'd be great.
David, make it great. You got the
Can you draw that
T-shirt thing, right? Do it.
Yeah, I can definitely draw things. Not at all.
We could probably find somebody.
Yeah. Anybody can draw Coach Hayes hugging the skyline of Atlanta and make it into a shirt for us? Or
could we find somebody who could draw Coach Hayes hugging me?
I'm gonna get a picture. I'm gonna get a picture of Coach Hayes hugging you. It's gonna be great.
I hope he listens to this.
It's gonna be his brother, like, and you'll never know the difference.
oh wait, because he's what? He's an identical twin. Is that
identical twin?
Is that what we're talking about now?
That's what we're talking about. Yes. Yeah.
He'll make my jokes now.
He'll use him to hug you.
That's okay.
This could actually delve into a really seedy subject, but yes. Hey, while we're on the commit or the recruiting train, we actually had a decommit in baseball. I didn't even write the guy's name down because he left us, and screw him. But I thought it was interesting. We had one of our baseball coaches leave to go to the Braves as some kind of scout or something, some kind of assistant or coach, whatever. Coach Taylor left, and this kid goes on the Twitter and says, "With Coach Taylor leaving Georgia State, I've decommitted and will be doing my athletic and educational future at UGA." And I just think it's great. We actually had a coach that had recruited a guy up against UGA and got him to come here instead. And this was according to this tweet, was the one thing that kept him from going to UGA was this one coach we had on our staff and we lost. So that's a big loss.
Yeah,
that's a downgrade for that coach. Who wants to go work for the Braves?
What?
Me? I'll work for the Braves. If the Braves want to give me money, I give them money. I gave them money last night. I went to the game last night. I gave them money. If they want to give me money, I would be okay with that. I mean, more money than I have now.
It's too hot to go to baseball games right now.
Well, when you're drunk and you're in the air conditioning, it's really fine.
If you're in air conditioning, that's fine.
Yeah.
The drunk thing, I mean, that's a given.
Exactly. I mean, I sobered up immediately when it was time to drive home, though.
Of course.
It was amazing how fast I was sober when it was time to drive home. No, I stopped drinking in the 7th inning.
We digress. What's the next topic, David? Let's get off this one.
Betting, gambling. You guys want to talk about betting and gambling?
I gave a quote to the AJC recently about sports betting.
And you said it's great. We should have it.
I did. I said, leave peaceful
right.
people alone. Something like that. I don't know. The piece didn't come out yet.
You don't know what you said, so you'll find out what you said when they release the article.
Well, I can go find the quote I sent, but
well, I mean, I'm taking it from a libertarian's perspective here. Is let me do with my money that I want to do, as long as does not directly damage or hurt someone else's person or property.
Yeah,
I should be able to do what I want to do. It's kind of
David.
like
you got this. You're in.
Yeah.
You should run for lieutenant governor next year.
Wait, and to oust you.
That's right. I'll be running as an incumbent. You can primary me.
Exactly. Oh, we can have a libertarian primary. It'd be awesome.
Woo!
Can we just turn it into like just getting? Can we actually do the primary on State of Atlanta? And all
like
we do is
every week we just have like a little mini debate where we just agree on everything.
It's like I agree to not get into anybody else's life more than you agree to not get into anybody else's life.
Let's leave people alone. All right, I endorse this man.
I'm voting for you. No, I'm voting for you.
It sounds like a terrible debate. Sorry.
It sounds like fun right now. There was
ball's gonna be fun, by the way.
Some I've been drinking since like 3.
Me too.
The kids wanted to do a pool day, so I did some pool day with the kid. By the way, my pool's like a sauna right now. It's awesome. It's warm water. It's like taking a bath. It's probably the bar of soap I took with me, but anyhow, some I'm talking about. There was some over under stuff came out for football. I thought was kind of cool, kind of interesting. So Appy State was the number one. 8.5 was their over under. They have the highest, but then it was Let's go in the East. Appy, Coastal, and us. Appy at 8.5, Coastal at 8. Georgia State 7.5.
Wow.
All right, which I find interesting because Marshall came in tied with JMU at 6.5, but we can toss JMU out because 1, they can't play for the division, and 2, they're only playing 11 games, so that's actually pretty impressive they have that. But Marshall at 6.5, that's a team that a lot of people have been talking about coming in and winning the Sun Belt first season, and they're getting tied for 4th in the East. That's also behind Lafayette in the West and tied with Troy in the West.
The East is tough, and we're getting respect. It's neat. It's neat. It's weird.
Yeah, I like that. Marshall, can go suck it because they're not as good as they think they are. And I mean, obviously, we don't know these things until the games are played. But Vegas has a pretty good finger on their pulse of what happens. And going into the season, seeing them behind us by a full game.
Doesn't Marshall have like Six Flags too? Something like that.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think you can.
Six Flags.
I don't think you can get Six Flags in the mountains over there. Oh, you mean championships? I thought you meant amusement park.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I was not following the joke that you were trying to make. I was like, what is he saying?
FCS
as
wins.
They say, if you've got to explain it, it's not funny at all.
Yeah, womp womp. But
Marshall's the darlings, right? Weren't they the darlings of the Sun Belt coming in? Everyone thought they'd just plow through all of us. No,
I don't know if they thought they'd. Speaking of your Father's Day, Ryan or Tim, plowing through everybody. I don't know if they thought that, but it was definitely a contender. Like that's all the talk has been. Marshall being as a contender in the conference. Year one, like they thought they were going to come in and like the trash down south did and win the conference the first year. And I just I really, being in the East, I don't think it's gonna be as easy as they think it is. They've got a tough schedule. They have a little bit an easier schedule as far as their home and away opponents. They get the tougher schools at home versus having to travel out to the tougher ones. But
do either of y'all know their like recent history though? Even in this USA, like were they good there? Even
I think did they lose
recently?
Didn't they lose to App last year at home?
They did.
Yes. Oh yeah, because that was the team the game where the App fans were like
Scandal.
Total assholes, right? They were like throwing shit at him and stuff and spitting.
They're being
and maybe saying some choice words for
yeah.
I never understand why somebody would use an insult directed at an opposing team's player that their own team fits the same demographics of. Like, why are you going to make fun of someone for a physical attribute that your own teammates, your own players of your school are the exact same people?
Are you talking
Like,
about like somebody who likes to make love to goats?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly
Yeah.
where I was going with it. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Mountain goats.
do you do you make love to goats, or do you?
If you're from Appy or Marshall, yeah, probably.
It probably depends on how much you love the goat.
David, no, you don't make love. You make sweet love.
Is the goat making love to you?
Who cares? Who cares?
Does it work both ways? I guess it depends on the goat.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyhow, Georgia State coming in at 7.5. What do you guys think about it as an over under on 7.5? I mean, that's where I would like to be 8 or above.
I will. I mean, I just like 7.5. I don't know. That's tough because I don't want to. I would not want to pick the under there.
Just because you're a fan and you don't want to pick the under.
Yeah, but but I know how we are. So I think we could pick up 8. I don't see much more than that. But 8 is possible.
What do you think, Tim?
7 is more probable.
I will take the under. Yeah, just to do it. Just
under regular season or under including bowl game or something like that. Because we got the 8 and 5 last year, but that 8th game came in because of the bowl game.
Does that count?
I think we have a hard schedule. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with 7, just slightly. Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna go against all the rules, and I'm gonna say that I'll let you know after the out of conference games are finished what I think.
Well, you know what? If we're counting the bowl game and like last year, looking at it, I could see the over on it. I still maybe just think like probability, right? Like, are we more likely to get 8 or 7 on that? 7 seems right.
I like. I would take the over on 7.5 in the regular season. I think so.
Without the bowl game.
But we're what? We're 70-something days away from our very first game, and I can be as hyped as I want to be. But as of right now,
but just wait till we're like 30 days out, because then that's when you're going to be like, no, we're 12
we're
wins.
losing all of the games. Wins. We're not going to win a single one.
No, we're going to win all of them. 12 wins. We're national champions.
The only game we're winning is the South Carolina game. Everybody get on my bus and go and pay to go.
No, we're jumping the shark. 2025? No, 2022, baby. Let's do this.
Doing it early.
Premature championshipers.
That's right. 14 wins. Woo!
Yeah, I don't know. I think 15. I think we have a tough schedule. It's gonna be a challenge to get 6, 7.
I think that, I don't disagree with you. It's a tough schedule. The out-of-conference schedule is brutal. What do you think about putting all out-of-conference first 4 games of the season? Right? Is that something that you're a fan of, or first 4 or 5?
I would like to see a little variety. It doesn't always have to be the first 4. Throw something in the mid to end of the season, maybe against an opponent that gives you a little bit of time to develop the team and see if you can, pull off a different kind of upset, right? As you've had time to gel.
I like a little bit more variety and see an out-of-conference game a little bit later in the schedule. But it seems like where Georgia State is in scheduling type things, if we get a later game in the schedule, it's probably like that cupcake game, but playing Bama before they play Auburn, or playing Georgia before they play Tech, or something like that. That's where you're going to get your later out-of-conference game. I don't want to do that. I just want to play Buffalo in November or something.
Seems oddly specific.
Oh, I just picked out a school, and my wife's family's from upstate New York, and
I mean it's pretty normal to do your out-of-conference games early, and but the difference between like our normal what was normal before 2010 for us was that we were fans of bigger programs, and so it didn't matter as much. Like, we weren't playing programs that were less skilled, I would say, or less deep. That's probably the more apt comment. But
that was my Tinder profile name, was Less Deep.
Less Deep.
You're doing it wrong.
No,
Oh,
I was happily married before Tinder was ever a thing. So no, I was kidding. To retread a little bit, Michael commented to answer your question, Ryan. Marshall has been a consistent bowl team and coming close to second in Conference USA since 2016. Well,
what is
coming
close to second? Is that like third?
2.5. 2.5.
Is double out on the double play or something,
No, I mean, so it sounds like they've been pretty good. Like if I think anyone with that kind of record would come into the Sun Belt and probably show out a little bit. So I mean, it'll be interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah, and we've dogged Conference USA quite a bit. Like the Sun Belt school has been dogging Conference USA for this whole realignment period. So being close to second in Conference USA is kind of being like not the best in the conference, but Southern Miss nor ODU were the best in the Conference USA. But yeah,
I think the top of any conference though is probably pretty solid, right? I mean, like any of the G5 conferences, any of the P5 conferences, there's a huge disparity. I mean, even in the SEC, there's a huge disparity between the top half and the bottom half.
Well, we were second in the East Division of Sun Belt last year, so maybe I shouldn't, hate on being second.
But weren't we still like third or fourth in the Sun Belt? Fourth, maybe.
I think we would have been. Well, we would have been third, right? Third overall. Overall in the Sun Belt. Yeah.
Dang, so man, we ended up all right.
We got lucky with that Coastal quarterback going out.
I know. I still look at that season, and I
put up 40 points on us.
That was the thing is like I watch that team, and I still am like, man, that was not a great team. But the record is what the record is, and that's what people are going to care about. That's all people are going to care about.
I wonder. I think about all the time, like what happened if we would have had Granger in as our starting quarterback from the very beginning, and Dustin Coates was not our starting running back. Like, would have been different. But I don't know. I think that we needed that shell shock of a couple opening games to get Granger prepared for, oh wow, I may be going in because this is not working out.
Do you know what I think would have happened if Granger was in for the first couple games to start?
He would have knocked out of the game, and we'd have Quad for the entire season.
Not knocked out. He would have done just as poorly, and Quad would have been our quarterback and would have done just as well as Granger did.
Very possible.
So
very, very, very.
It would have been very, very similar.
An even season, we would have ended up right where we started.
I think it would have been very similar to what we saw. We might have had a loss here and there, seriously, but
well, it's hard to say because most of our losses, the losses that we had, most of them were like blowout losses.
Yeah,
so it wasn't like all right, well, just replacing this one player here or there was going to change all that much. But we got YouTuber Cynical Peach. His prediction is
a very cynical prediction.
6-6. This team isn't good enough to beat quality programs consistently. We constantly get smacked around by Appy. And last time we played a P5 team, UNC, we got beat by nearly 40. Georgia State has hit I wouldn't say we haven't hit a ceiling. No.
Whoa. Everything but that last sentence.
Yeah, I disagree with the hitting a ceiling. I do find it interesting that we played so poorly against UNC last season, and so many people think we've got a legit shot against UNC this year. They've had changes. We've had changes, but we're also returning like the number 4 or 5 team in returning production.
Yeah, we're returning
the entire
everybody,
nation or something like that.
Yeah.
So we're not that big of a
team. We got like a 26-year-old starting at tight end. So
he's older than his position coach.
Exactly. We're doing all right.
I think too, Carolina's, they lost their starting quarterback, right? He went on. He moved on. What?
UNC
or whatever. Yeah.
UNC's. Yeah. But yeah. But the ceiling comment, I disagree with that one.
Yeah. There's if we've hit the ceiling, I don't know, shut the whole thing down.
Yeah, well, yeah. If this is the best that Georgia State can be, yeah, I don't know. Just
head back to Athens.
I think we've reset the floor to a bowl game.
Yeah, sell Center Park Stadium for money and play at Grady High School. Like
merge with Georgia Tech. How about that?
I think it's
absorb Georgia Tech. Absorb Georgia Tech. I would. Okay, so that the reason why you say that is I was going through my Sun Belt and stuff like tweets, and somebody put out something years ago about Tech and Georgia State merging to become like an actual competitive football program because of the academics and blah 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 blah. This was old, but the guy had retweeted it or tweeted out about his old article recently, and I'm like, yeah, we'll absorb them. We'll absorb them. We're the largest university. So if there's any merger between Georgia State and Georgia Tech, it becomes an absorption. But it's never going to happen. It's a stupid thing to talk about. But there's something I was thinking about in this whole little thing was if we were to absorb Tech or Burge Tech, whatever, you play at Center Park. Bobby Dodd becomes just another like intramural field, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's the better stadium.
That's a tough one.
Why is it tough?
Bobby Dodd's historic, right?
No, it's not. They built over the historic part.
Exactly.
It's not even historic anymore. The historic part is under what they're playing on.
The man's got a point, Tim. Come on.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
More like Bobby Dud. I don't know. That was stupid.
It's just they already did that. So they already just like buried it. That was their choice, not ours. It's a nice skyline view, but there are nice skyline views all over the city. So
Midtown campus, Georgia State Midtown campus.
The Evening Institute.
The Evening Institute of Atlanta.
All engineering classes start at 8 p.m.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
They got to work during the day because they're like smart and have good jobs.
It was a grad program only. One last thing I want to hit on real quick before to take off because we're already 36 minutes in.
Doing all right. This is
solid.
It's fun. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the conversation. But there's one last thing I wanted to make sure we got in, and that was we talked about it last week. The Daily News Record, I guess up in Virginia, did the little part about the Sun Belt and focusing on basketball and improving basketball and making it more of a multi-bid league. And they did release parts 2 and 3, of course, on Wednesday because why would you release it before we could talk about it? And yeah, so it was just there wasn't that much more to it, but yeah, the goal from Keith Gill, the commissioner of Sunbelt, is to make Sunbelt a multi-bid league. And kind of the thought process was all of the sports in the Sunbelt have been improving. Football has been leading the way with the bowl games and the performances and the out-of-conference performances. And baseball, we had 4 teams in the College World Series, regionals and everything. With volleyball and tennis and everything, getting all these NCAA soccer, all these NCAA things. Might as well focus on the other revenue sport of basketball becoming, a legit basketball conference. And some of the keys they talked about was more home games, which I like because anytime I can go to a game instead of being home with my family, I'm a fan of.
More tailgating and drinking, right?
Exactly. More tailgating. I will never vote no to more. As Ryan is a libertarian, you will never vote for more taxes, and I'll never vote for less tailgating.
It's true.
So I think you're probably on board with that one as well. So more home games.
I'll vote all of those things.
More home games. More buying more games than being bought. So paying more teams to come play us versus getting bought to go play your Duke or your Kentucky or your major team.
Isn't that the wrong direction though? Don't we talk about how we want to play more of the people who could
but they want to
take a step up?
Keith wants us to play those at home. Keith,
buy quality games, basically.
We're a first name. We're on a first name basis.
Keith, yeah, but when we pay people, they're like severely not quality, right? That is our D2 program.
Well, then also getting rid of the Division II games and the Carver Bibles and the Voorhees Institute.
Who are we paying to show up at our convocation center?
Well, it's like the better mid-major programs. The ones something else that came out this week was the Atlantic 10. Is that a conference?
Yeah, A10.
They play basketball. So there was a big I think it was is VCU in there? Is it VCU?
Yeah, I think so.
They moved there.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Tim. Like VCU had this long series with Old Dominion and they got canceled this season. And so
us too.
The original speculation, no, VCU and ODU have been playing forever. Like even out of conference, they've been playing forever.
Oh.
And the original thing was the Atlantic 10 said, no, you're not playing Sunbelt teams anymore. Like, we're not going to schedule it. So a lot of Sunbelt fans were like, screw Atlantic 10. We're not going to play you in baseball or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they're really going to feel the heat on that. But it turns out what the Atlantic 10 said was no home games. No home games? No away games. No away games for any team that finished less than 100 or more than 100.
I mean,
Well,
100 basketball is a lot
net
different than 100 in football because they don't have FBS, FCS. It's only D1.
Yeah, well, there's like 380 something teams
There's a lot,
in
yeah.
college basketball versus
Exactly.
130.
So
Yeah,
100 what?
100 net rating.
Net ranking.
So
Okay, got it.
100 net rating.
Okay.
And so that was the thing. And I'm like, I get it. You know, if you're trying to improve the quality of your conference, you don't want to have you have a better shot of winning games at home. You don't want to play a crappy team on the road.
Right.
So
So who canceled it? VCU. They're like,
VCU.
you're to that shitty conference now. We're not gonna
Yeah,
play.
well, so here's the thing: not a single school in the Sun Belt finished better than 117 in the net ranking. I think Texas State finishes the season 117. We were actually tied with I say tied. Tech was one spot above us. So if we would have won that one game, we would have,
maybe been a little better. Yeah.
Well, if we would have won that one game against Tech, we probably would have been higher than Tech. We were literally.
Oh, I see. You mean yeah. Okay.
I think we were like 124. They were 123 or something like that. I didn't write the numbers down. I don't know what it is. But yeah. So
where do they get off putting Texas State in front of us, though? I mean, like we won the tournament.
Texas State was good in the
They were
regular
good.
season.
But, like we won.
Yeah, but they had a better record across the entire. They played more games than us too. We didn't play a lot of games.
Yeah, we had
a lot of
better season
cancellations.
'cause we won because we went to NCAA. Like
we were
we won.
strategic in how we played the number of games we played.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, we were well rested going into Pensacola. That was the strategy of Coach Lanier.
So I heard a theme in that those 3-part article. I mean, it's all money, money, and more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we better start fundraising that money.
Well, yeah, it was money, but there's also they talked about being creative in your scheduling and creative ways to get these better rankings. And some of the creative things were, or I have my notes here about the home scheduling, but we're talking about maybe setting up a conference, not tournament, but like some conferences like play against each other. It's like we would do a Sun Belt versus
challenge.
Yeah, Sun Belt versus MAC challenge. Or they even said They said Conference USA, but I'm like, I don't know if you want to pull in, like, sure, Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky, yeah, cool, whatever, play those guys. Law Techers, but I don't really care about Jacksonville State or Sam Houston or whatever the crappy schools are pulling in.
It's a round robin. All the teams just play those 2 teams.
But one of the things they said was the multi-team events. Hosting multi-team events.
Hey, we're doing that already.
Which we are doing that. Of course, we're doing it against some of the most boring schools I've ever heard of, or have not heard of, as the case may be. But my question was, do you think that I almost said coach, but Charlie Cobb is thinking of creative ways to make basketball better?
No. But here's the caveat: I don't think he's thinking of creative ways to do a whole lot.
So I could have like left basketball out of that, and he's like, "Do you think that Charlie Cobb is thinking of creative ways to making Georgia State athletics better?"
Yeah, yeah. I hedged a little bit, but yeah. I mean that's what I'm trying to say. I think there's a lot of like vanilla marketing and a lot of vanilla like sports administration going on, and to make it to truly make a difference at a program like Georgia State, I think you got to get outside the box and be radical somehow and do something weird, do something cool.
What we should have done is when Daryl Lyons decided to leave the Spirit program to go on to do whatever he wants to do, we should just hired him to be like, run cool stuff for athletics, like find ways to make athletics more engaging and more fun, and what can we do? Run the focus groups to figure out what's better for scheduling, what's better for scheduling of when to have games and stuff like that. Like somebody, because he was incredibly passionate, and I just picked his name out of my head for something. But anybody, if we had somebody that's their whole goal was like just I don't know, engagement.
I just want us to think outside the box. Like your typical stuff isn't going to work, right? Like I mean, we figured it out early with, and we stopped with like giveaways at games, right? Where like you got a T-shirt if you came into the game for the first however many fans and stuff like that. Like that just didn't do anything,
You
and they
get 10
figured
of
that out
those,
early.
yeah.
But that's like what Georgia does, right? Because Georgia, like they're gonna have those fans anyway. It doesn't actually matter.
Right.
And what we found out was like that doesn't actually work to bring fans in, and so we have to figure out what it's going to take to bring fans in, because that's
Ooh.
all that should matter, right? To get TV programming and get fans in the door. Like
That's a loaded
that's,
discussion, Ryan.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree though. That we gotta figure out something that's gonna make people want. Out of the billion opportunities you have on a Saturday in Georgia, in Atlanta, what's
Mhm.
gonna make you go downtown to go
Heyo.
to a basketball game or a football game or
Wouldn't
something
be
like
state
that?
of Atlanta if we didn't
Hey,
not let that go.
yeah, we need to have like a soundboard where we can just like do like the
Wah, wah.
yeah, we got to figure out something. I agree. I think that obviously we try to do that with our tailgate, make our tailgate the best tailgate possible. We do that with the podcast to have engagement, fans have something to follow. The fans that are diehards are doing their part. It's
Trying.
we need the university to help us out. We need PAC dollars. The PAC should become Patreon members.
Yeah.
The pack.
The
All
PAC
of them.
itself should be a Patreon. I'm gonna create a new tier. I did $1,000 a month for the PAC to pay us to improve
Oh
athletics.
boy, we could just
Wow.
it'll just be like whatever the pack brings in, they can just give it to us, and we can just do it.
Oh yeah, so like where they talk about like privatizing Social Security, where like you get a section of it yourself to manage yourself instead of like the
it'll just
government.
be us.
Yeah. So we can get the PAC to give like a certain percentage of all PAC dollars to us, and we can manage that to create the fan experience.
That's right.
I think it's a great idea.
There'll be no tickets involved, and there'll be lots of drinks.
I like
Oh, no,
I like how we get money. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. Yeah.
Well, we don't get money. We
get
they
money
are
to make money.
they are investing in our ability to increase.
They're gonna pay for like a brisket for me to like have a fresh brisket and bring it down to the tailgate.
Every single episode, Ryan's gonna have a fresh brisket he's gonna be eating. He'll spend every Tuesday
the
eating.
tailgate though. The tailgate.
So Ryan, you brought up the fan support. Atlanta likes events. Do you think we'll get a good crowd for our first basketball game in the new
First
Conference
basketball
Center?
game? Yeah, no. First every game we always have a good crowd. I mean that always happens.
I think it depends on whether that first game is against Carver Bible or if it's against it'll be a decent if it's against Carver Bible, it'll be our best sports arena showing ever.
Probably.
But if you
I
can
think so.
actually if you can open up that game, that stadium, that arena against a legit program, and honestly, you know what? If you want to have an exhibition game against Carver Bible or Voorhees or whatever, just to have like the
Voorhees.
knock the brakes off type thing.
Sure.
Knock the brakes off. Yeah, that's a new one.
We gotta knock the rust off.
Not to be confused with Rust.
That was
I
our
mean, like,
tagline
even-
for 2 years.
Even Mercedes-Benz, had their exhibition games against United before they let the Falcons in there to be their official
Ooh.
opening. So that's fine. But if we need to market the first game, which I guess is going to be that Tech game, like that's going to be the debut of the Convocation Center. Even if we have a legit first game before then, they're going to market. They should market. I would market the Tech game as the opening of the Convocation Center.
It's like your grand opening, right? You're still
Yeah.
open.
Your soft opening.
Right.
Your soft opening. Yeah.
You think that'll
Sorry.
happen? Or do you think they're going to market the first game as the opening?
Sounds
I don't know.
creative, Ryan, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they can get creative with it, and I'm not the creative person. I think they could do something with that on the lines of what you guys are saying. They're probably I would hope that somebody there could be smarter than us with that.
Well, I know that there's not a lot of good chemistry between Charlie and whoever the AD is at Tech, because we had that problem where they put up that billboard for Tech football like right on Center Park Stadium, like on the highway, whatever. And Charlie called up the AD and he's like, "Dude, come on, man! Like, you're advertising your season tickets like on our campus, just whatever. It's like, oh yeah, we paid for it for 3 weeks. Well, when it's done, we'll non-renew it after 3 weeks. And then 3 weeks goes by and it's still up, and he calls him back up and he's like, hey, your sign's still up. I would really appreciate if you take it. And I was like, oh yeah, our season tickets are through the roof. We're not too many eyeballs. We're gonna keep it up. And so that's when Charlie, I mean, to his credit, that's when he put that billboard up across from McCamish that said best basketball team in the state, Georgia State University. And so there's already that kind of like that
that's a good rivalry.
That's a good rivalry. I get
burning unfettered love for
that's
each
how
other.
it begins.
Yeah. So
I see the kindling. I would like to well, I won't say this.
You like to explore it? Yeah.
I was gonna blow it.
Okay. I'm not gonna say it, but this is what I was gonna say.
Well,
Thank you.
Tim started asking other
Thank
questions.
you for saying
I felt
it.
like I should just say what I was gonna say because it's funny.
Just do it.
And I'm drunk.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
I don't know what you want from me.
To contribute into this podcast because we do it every week.
I've been kicking ass, dude. We're talking about 50 minutes right now.
I know, this is kind of crazy. I love it.
Like a third of it's me.
And we've got by math that works. You cracked yourself up on that one. Let's see. Let's go to we'll go to the comments real quick, and then we'll head off to last call.
Cynical Peach has been going off, man.
Yeah, he's on. If GSU
I like
could
the
stop,
engagement though. Yeah,
I love it. If GSU could stop with the non-D1 teams, that'd be great. I agree.
Please get rid of them all.
Would be great.
Yeah, get rid of them altogether.
We don't. So in football, you don't play D2 programs. Like that doesn't happen. So why would we do it here? You play FCS programs sometimes, but you don't play D2 programs.
I agree. Yeah,
I mean, we can play the bottom of the D1 teams and
300 some odd programs. Like just pick one of them, or 3 of them, or however many. Like no D2.
Yeah, I agree. He goes on to say, I'd love to see State play Auburn. Agreed. Tennessee and Georgia. Yep. I think those are 3 teams. Georgia, that's a whole.
We'll never play them. Yeah, we'll never play
them. But Auburn and Tennessee, those were teams we were never going to get in the sports arena. We could possibly get them in the Convocation Center. I'd love it. I'm on board.
I do need you to look up the Oxford comma, but that's all. That's it. That's it.
And I'd love it if Georgia State would play UAB, VC, or Alabama A&M. Yeah, for sure. UAB, I would love. We should play UAB in all sports every single season.
We talk about that so much on this podcast. Just like UAB, like that's a natural rival. I feel like Charlotte is like another one that's like right behind there. We should be playing them in most things. UAB is like right there though.
If there is a D1 university within 2 to 3 hours of you should play them in everything every single season.
And so, I mean, TDS is just like 3 hours away, so we should.
But also that place can all rot in hell. So
no, we should play them all the time too. I know you don't agree, but we should.
No, I have no problem with us playing them once every 4 years, like in a little FCS opponent. That's fine
as long as we beat them. Jeez.
Well, we've established we're doing that.
I mean, if you take those 2 teams, UAB and VCU, and you just add in Charlotte, those are 3 quality games you're going to play, right?
And the great thing about playing programs like that, if you're playing these teams that are 2 to 3 hours away, you're going to get a good turnout of opposing fans. And when you have a good turnout of opposing fans, it makes it more fun for the home fans, and more home fans want to come out to those games because you're playing them every single year. You're playing them regularly. And I know that when UAB plays in Atlanta, it's a good turnout. So let's go to that game because it's fun. It's engaging. It's a blast. We can drink on the G deck together.
Yeah, Alabama A&M, that's one of those pick from the bottom of the NCAA.
Where is A&M?
I don't know.
I was waiting for Ryan to say Alabama while I was drinking, but
I just knew they were like in the sub 300 range, right? So replace them with Voorhees, right?
Jacksonville State,
the Bible College, all of them,
any of them,
any of the Bible colleges we play.
I mean, any of the D2, right? Get rid of them.
Yeah,
get the local, like Mercer. As much as I hated how Mercer played out with this, but Mercer and KSU should be regular season games in basketball.
Yep,
we could just eject a cheerleader every time we play.
I would love it if our cheerleaders like always got so intense that one of them got kicked out. That'd be great.
Be like the cheerleaders from the Replacements movie.
Yeah, I'll
with
take it.
Keanu Reeves, like, where they hired everybody's on strike, so they just got all the strippers, which
That's
is
based
actually
on a true story, man. It's not just the movie.
which is actually what Kennesaw State does, because all of their students, or I should say,
Ooh, do we play Kennesaw State?
most of the shoe models go to Kennesaw State. It's like the
Shoe models?
yeah, the women who model shoes.
Is it a major?
I don't know. I just have never heard of that group as like a group.
I think I'm using the wrong phrase, but
I've never heard anybody talk about
shoe
the
shows.
shoe
They
models.
call it strip clubs are called shoe shows or something like that, right?
Oh no, I have never heard that. You might know more than me here.
When it comes to
probably
strip clubs, I probably do.
You probably do.
So should we play Kennesaw State?
I think we should play Kennesaw State in all sports, and by all sports, I mean all sports. Football once every 4 years.
Yeah,
always home.
That's safe. Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, no,
what did Georgia do for TDS? It was every other year, right?
When Georgia just had 2 FBS programs and the Trash Down South, that was the deal. Both I think Bama, Georgia played the Southern every 4 years at home, and I think
4 years or every other year.
I think it was every 4 years. I could be wrong. Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
Obviously, I don't pay attention.
I mean, I'm drunk. I don't know, man.
I don't pay attention to Georgia. I pay less attention to Trash Down South. But I mean, we should be playing all the schools in Georgia, and we should be playing all the D1 programs that are within a 2 to 3 hour drive. Should all be played every single season in all sports.
All right.
Man, in 35 minutes, I thought we were done.
I know, me too. We're about an hour.
You guys ready? I got it. You mentioned it like minute 32. We were almost going to wrap it up.
I got to pee and grab some more beers.
All right. Well, real quick, Sunbelt versus AAC or Conference USA. I agree with AAC. They won't play us. Conference USA, we should not acknowledge they exist. Georgia State has to make themselves an event worth watching. In football, there has to be a plan to invest in improving the facilities and marketing the program. It's not the students' fault. It's the leadership. Hey, I can't disagree with you on leadership, but students have got to find some school spirit.
It's both. It's both.
It's a combination.
Shared.
Chicken and the egg.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, and I'll tell you, like my little brother, goes to Georgia State, and he gets all these little like side comments from even the teachers, who make fun of going to Georgia State games. And it's like there's this culture in the academic side of it, and the students and the teachers and everybody, where it's sort of like this joke, and it doesn't need to be that way. It's not necessarily anything that the program has done, and I don't necessarily understand it, and I don't know how to fix it either. But it needs
to get rid of them. Get rid of them. That's how you fix
all of them. The students, the teachers, just fire them.
All of them.
I agree.
All fired.
I mean, it's been a long time since I was I was in school on campus, but yeah, that's the thing that I've heard, is that there is zero relationship between academics and athletics, and that's the fault of athletics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect academics to be responsible for to get into athletics. I expect athletics to get academics on board. We've got to do something to reach out to these professors. And I know Georgia has the University of Georgia has some rule about, you don't hire professors that came from your university, because they want to have, a cross mingling of universities. It's not like all inbred education and everything. So you've got professors that have come from universities all over the country, all over the world, to teach here. So they don't have an affinity towards Georgia State. We've got to find a way to get professors on board to be Georgia State.
Sell it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping our new president kind of helps bridge that gap and fixes it.
I don't know. I agree. I hope he does too. I just feel like he's got a crap ton on his plate, and the last thing he's to worry about is, why an accounting professor is making fun of our athletics program. I don't know if there's an accounting professor doing that. Accounting professors don't make fun of anything. Accounting professors are boring. That was my experience in college.
Yep.
I think we killed this one, guys.
Dead.
Let's get out. Can we get this under 1 hour?
If you start now.
All right. There's one more comment.
No, we can't.
Thanks everybody for listening. We're gonna do a last call. We're gonna keep this going. It's been a lot of fun conversation. I've had a fun conversation tonight. We're keeping it going on our last call. Patreon.com/State of Atlanta for our last calls, available for free on Fridays on our page. If you contribute $3 a month, you get it immediately, as well as access to our private group chat, discounts on our merchandise, and access to whatever else we do early, always, and discounts always. Thanks for listening. It's been a lot of fun. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.